make a video on riding positions in the saddle, and I thought if I do it on this gym horse, it might be a lot easier for people to see better. It's quite funny because when we're riding and we're at a certain level, everything seems to be quite easy. And it's only now when I have to really break this stuff down to people, I realise how complicated it actually is. And what a good education I had as a youngster. So anyway, let's just go over a few things. I don't want to take too much time on it. I've colour coded the reins, I've colour coded my socks so you can see my leg positions. So let's go straight into it. So this is going to be my neutral riding position. Okay, so it looks something like that. My toes are up, my core's engaged, my back is straight, my shoulders are down and up. I'm in a nice balanced position on the horse. So from that, what I want to do is break this down. So we're going to talk about reins in a minute. Let's talk about legs, what your legs should be doing and what is available in your body that people just aren't accessing, if you like. But I just don't think they realise they can, or they've not been taught, or there's so much to think about when we're riding that we forget to do this stuff. So this is really going into like advanced riding, but it's quite simple where if you understand it. So I'm going to try and break it down as easy as I can. So like I say, we've got our basic riding position, core is engaged, your core must be engaged. So it's almost like I'm doing a crunch. That's how I feel I'm doing, but I'm not coming down with my shoulders, okay? So the core is engaged and I'm tucking it in so it's nice and strong. That's where we're going to get our balance from. So we'll go on to body in a minute. Let me start with legs. So here we go, we're in our neutral riding position as if we're riding. Legs, you've got shoulder, rib cage, hind. And then on this side, I've got shoulder, rib cage, hind. So there's 3 positions on top of your neutral riding position you can use. So let's go on to seat position. So we should have a seat position, your neutral riding position. So when you're going through your walk, trot, canters, you should be sort of in this position and going with the horse. So position 1, when we're going an active riding position. So we're going to move the horse off from standstill, move him up to a trot, moving up to a canter. So I'm going to lighten the seat. So basically what I'm going to do is almost just sit up onto my pelvis. My core is still engaged, but I'm literally doing this with my hips and I almost take in a breath in. So yeah, it lifts my chest. Okay, that is just a small cue for your horse. When you lighten his seat, we're going. So then we're going, we've picked up into our walk, then I'm going back to neutral riding position, and we're riding. So if I want to come down a transition, I'm going into position 3. So I'm sort of tucking, again, I'm engaging my core, I'm rolling back onto the pockets of my jeans, and I'm exhaling. See how what it does to my body? Okay, it tucks my tummy in, it brings me back when I exhale. So there's your downward transitions. Then if I'm stuck at a standstill and I'm going to back my horse up, so I'm still really in position 3 when I'm relaxed. So I'm relaxed, my body's relaxed, my horse should be relaxed. I've quit riding him, I'm in position 3, and we're just chilling. So if I was going to back him up, I would stay in this position, but I would then pick the reins up. Obviously, my core is engaged, and I'm going to I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, but I'm going to move back a little bit, engage that core. I'm sitting on the pockets of my jeans here, okay? But what I'm going to do is slightly raise my reins. So I'm saying I'm putting my weight back onto the hind and helping lighten the front end so the horse can move the front end, and I'm actually lifting up. What a lot of people do in the back up is they come down here and then they're blocked by their own legs. I don't like this, it pulls the horse down. You need to be up. Now this is really getting into complex advanced riding, I suppose, but it's just stuff that people really don't understand. So we've gone through the legs, we've gone through the seat. So I'm in my neutral riding position. So let's go on to the reins. So if I'm riding, okay, so again, try not to hold tension. It's very hard to be relaxed, core engaged, ready to ride, but not hold the tension so we can go with the horse. Okay, so this really is where your seat comes in and your core to keep your balance. So really my upper body is in balance with the horse. I'm not coming like this. See, look what happens when I'm leaning forward. Already. And then if I lean back too much, look, my legs come forward. Okay, so it's sort of just in that seat position too. I'm sat nicely on my pelvis. But because my core is engaged, I'm in a better position, even though I'm not even gripping with my legs, because my core is engaged. And this is why I'm going to keep going on about the core, because this is what's going to save you. If your horse spooks or does anything silly, you need to be active in the core and really engage that seat. If you start doing this, or you've got bad shoulders that come forward, look what is happening to me, I'm out the side door. So we really need to keep our shoulders back, our back straight, core engaged. When I engage the core, it straightens my back and it really tucks me in to the seat. So I'm engaged, I'm riding. Let's go back to these reins. So we're riding. So wrists, elbows, shoulders relaxed. Almost, I know we're always taught to have the thumbs sort of up like this, holding your ice cream cones as I say to the kids. But really what we want is just a relaxed wrist, because what happens when you're in this position or this position, it tightens your bicep and your arm, believe it or not. So really what we should be riding, how we should be riding, not to hold tension in our arms, is just literally bringing the thumbs in a little bit and relaxing those fingers. So then we've got play time. Look at this. I've got contact, I'm releasing contact, I've got contact just with the fingers. So here we go. So I'm riding. I've got a nice line from the bit straight through the rein to my wrist to my elbow. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be too up here yet, and we definitely should not be down here, okay? Because already that's pulling me forward. We should keep either here, we should not go lower. It should be when we're training, and then we're getting into a second phase here now, we're going to go into another level. We're going to go into more advanced manoeuvres with the reins and hands. And this is why I wanted to do this video, to show what is available when we're riding. Okay, so we're riding. So first of all, if I'm getting on one of the horses, first thing I do is I gather my reins. Again, this is such a good thing to practice. People need to learn. And you know it's very hard for English riders to do, because you're always taught to, have that contact all the time, is to let go of those reins a bit and learn to just practice sliding your hands down those reins. So I like to, especially with the baby horses, they need a lot of release. They need to understand that they've done a good job. Can't be holding on with any young horse too early, okay? Because that's just too much pressure. We're on them, pressure. Saddles on them, girths on them, pressure. Legs pressure, okay? Mouth pressure. And it's just too much for them. This is where your pressure and release comes in. So the reward for them when they've done something good is they get release of pressure, which is I relax in the seat, reins, they get loosed off on the reins. And what will tend to happen, if you've always held your horse, when you loose him off on the reins, first he's going to think, oh, I'm free. But the second thing he'll do is he'll stretch down. And that's what everyone wants. And we're going back to those basics of suppleness, relaxation on our riding triangle. Okay, collection's right at the top of the tip of that triangle. But people are forgetting all these layers that build the triangle. And that's relaxation, suppleness, and that stretching of them. So here we go. So I've given him, we're riding. So, first thing I want to be able to do when I get on is flex left and right. Okay, so obviously my reins are attached, but I'm going to pick him up, slide my hand down, I'm going to slide my hand down, and I'm going to pretend this is going to give, and I'm going to bring him back to my hip or my horn, this area, so that he can bend his head 90 degrees. Okay, and then I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to do it with my other rein. So I'm going to bring him back here, and I might do it once, twice, or 3 times. I might do 3 times on each side. So first of all, that's the first thing we need to learn. Again, we need to slide down to be able to take. So one thing to remember. So now I'm riding. So let's move the shoulders. So this is where your leg cues and your hand cues have to work together. So let's just start on the rein cues a sec. So we're going to move the shoulder. Practical situation. I'm riding a circle. Again, so I'm going round to the left, this is the inside. So this is how my leg position should be when I'm riding. So I'm from the belly button, I'm twisting, I'm nice and straight, my shoulders are in line. Okay, so I'm riding. It's hard because the seat isn't moving, but I'm like this. Again, my T-tray is there, I've got my inside rein, the nose is coming through here. Again, look at my hands, they're not down here, they're just up a little bit, and my hands are level. So I'm looking where I'm going, I've engaged the core, I'm turning my shoulders from the belly button, so this is still, but the hips are falling, my legs are falling, how my hips are turning to the right. Okay, and then that naturally puts my legs in that position anyway. They need to be in this position because when the horse is moving his shoulders out to the right, this leg is ready to encourage the shoulders to move to the right. Okay, this leg is out the way of the shoulders moving to the right, and it's also in a nice position where my hips fall. Okay, so if I'm riding a circle to the right, that's how my leg should be. Left leg, outside leg, slightly forward, inside leg, slightly back. But I'm not purposely doing it like that. I'm twisting with the horse, if you like. But I'm straight from the belly button, through my chest to the neck. So I'm coming through and I'm twisting through the belly button like this, okay? And then if I'm moving to the right, look what's going to happen. So, sorting up because I have not got a neck to move. So I'm doing this. Again, I'm here with my legs. Again, core is engaged. I'm turning my belly button to the left now, and we're doing a left turn. Going back to neutral, legs are straight, core is engaged. Easy peasy. So, on your turn, legs need to be like this. Hands need to be like this. My horse's neck is not turning. Supportive rein is the outside. Inside rein, tipping the nose to where we want it to go. And this is where we're going into advance now, because we've got to manage what our hands are doing, what our body's doing, what our legs are doing. So if I wanted to, say my horse is falling in, we're doing a circle, but he's falling into the circle, okay? So what's going to happen is I need these cues available to me to then lift the shoulder. You've got to lift the shoulder up, okay? Otherwise, if your hand's down here, look what's happening to my shoulder, and I'm going to be out the side door. So lift the hand up. This is a supportive rein, which means basically, if he goes to go out, then I just play with it a little bit. Again, this is all through feel. I can't feel anything because I'm attached to a wooden chair. But I'm just trying to show you the positions. So what I would do then would put my leg in position 1. So he's falling into the circle. That shoulder's dribbling into the circle. So I say, hey man, I'm picking my shoulder up. I'm almost bringing him with my seat over there. This outside leg is not blocking him. That's his open door to go to. So I'm lifting him and I say, come, there's the leg. Come, inside hand, inside leg. Inside hand, inside leg. And you see how I'm already giving, asking, releasing, asking, releasing. If he didn't move, I'm not going to release him if he didn't move off this cue. I would start bumping with my leg. put some rhythmic pressure onto it until he moved away, and then I would release him. Good, you did the right thing, that's your reward, there's your release. Exactly the same the other side, so let's have a look at it from the other side and see what these legs are doing. So, doing my circle, I'm in my position, going to the left. Horse is falling into the left, I'm lifting him up. So what I'm going to do, oh, what's happening here with my legs? Yeah, that's right. I can't keep this leg on, and this is what's happening. People are concentrating on this leg, and this leg's doing God knows what, probably blocking. Never block your horse. This is where, when I get on a horse, he does it straight away. Someone else gets on their horse and they can't do it at all, because they are not working the reins with the body to help the horse, and then adding the pressure release. And this is why I'm saying it's so advanced, because you're doing lots and lots of things. But my intention is one thing at a time. I was working a circle nicely, then we got a problem. He's falling in. I've got to lift him up. Whoop. Lift him up. My shoulder lifts up. I'm saying with my body, get back over there. So I can't put this leg on him because that's our open door. I can't have no pressure. So here he's got pressure. I'm lifting him up. I'm lifting him up. This leg is here saying, hey man, move that shoulder over there. Okay? If he didn't go, I'm going to start bumping him. I could even lift him. But look what's happening with my reins. It's not like, it is T-trays coming up, you're coming with me. I'm lifting the head and neck and the shoulders with me. Look, you're coming. He's in between my reins. He's in between my seat. Okay? He's not coming with my seat cue, my body cue. Bump, bump, bump. Rhythmic pressure, rhythmic pressure. Oh, there we came. Good, release, right. So, riding. Let's go on to something else. Riding. And then doing our circle. So giving, going to the left, shoulder. Oh, he's falling in. Lift him up. Well, not bump. I'd have to lay my leg first. If he didn't come off my body position, my weight distribution, the lift of this shoulder indication here of the inside rein, opening that leg, I then bump him and lift him over. Keeping him in between my reins, the head and neck, and he's got to follow my seat. We're riding our horses like they're part of our body. Okay, so when I do this, they should come like that. If I do that, they should come like that. If I do that, they should go. If I do this, they should come back and meet me. Okay, and this is what I'm saying with these positions. So, bump, 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 shoulder up. Bump, 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 shoulder up. Go. See how a little bit of slack, especially on young horses that don't always understand. That's got to be your open door. If you want them to go, got to be an open door. Okay? So some horses can get a bit stuffy, so you've got to help them. See how I let a little bit of, there's your open door, okay? There we go. So let's go on to something different. So Saville's going to move the rib cage. Again, it's just very simple. Going in, well, not simple, but simple for when you know what you're doing. So I'm going to move that rib cage now. So I'm either doing a straight line, and I want him to move over like this or like that. So again, lifting up. Position 2 on the leg, on the rib cage, and I'm pushing, and I'm almost pointing where I want to go with the reins. I say over there, but look, they're not like that. Nice T-tray. I'm lifting him up and saying, we're going over there, and a nice, well-trained horse will follow your body. I'm almost, with this, if we're going this way, this leg is your open door. I've got this on position 2 on my outside leg. I'm pushing. I've laid the calf, I've laid the heel. It's not going. There's my open door. This rein is just supporting him, because remember, we've got head, shoulders, hinge. Then we've got the rib cage, hinge, and the hind. So why I say hinges, because that can move and that can move. And then what tends to happen when we do this is it's the rib cage pops out, the shoulder pops out, hind pops out, and all of a sudden you're riding a wiggly worm. And that's why you need 1, 2, 3. And we need this understanding of lifting the shoulder, placing it where we want it to go. And it's very similar to when you move the rib cage, you're keeping them straight, or do you want that arc with them? Do you want the hind? So there's my position 3 on my outside leg. But look how my body position is. Neutral riding. And then I'm going to position. So we're going to do shoulder. Bop, bop, open door there. Bop, bop, good. There, good horse. And then I'm going to do rib cage. That's where we're going. I'm going over there, horse. I'm going over there. Arrow, arrow. There's your open door that way. Okay, that leg's off. I'm putting my pressure in position 2. Push, push, push. We're going over here. He should be in a nice straight line and following in between where I'm going to put my hands. In between my reins, in between my hands, whatever you say. Same over here, so I'm going to go and do a bit of a rib cage movement over here. So I'm nice and straight. I'm pushing, open leg. Obviously, I'm exaggerating here, but I don't want this leg on like that. I want a nice open door. I might even step my weight into there just a little bit. Might put my hip like this, just to sort of exaggerate. But anyway, we'll go on to that in a minute. So, same. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 with the legs. Okay? Hands inside up, supporting with the outside. Going to the left, inside hand, supporting with the outside. Okay? So this is where your feel is going to come into play. Because some of you might listen to this and have no idea what I'm saying about this, that and the other with these reins. But the problem is, what I'm saying, I like to break it down into these hinges, okay? Because if you put too much pressure here, the nose is going to come round, the shoulder's going to pop out, okay? The rib cage is going to leak out there. Same if you put too much pressure on this rein, too much nose, you need to learn to feel, and this is the hardest thing to teach people, to come through that feel. How much of that do I need? How much of that do I need? Oh, he's going, over there, so I need to just manage him. He's going from bending that way, he's counter bending, and you have got to do so much when you're riding. People do not realise. That's why I think it's nice and easy to sort of explain it in this way, because I've got a horse's body, all the body in the way. So you have to use all the cues that are available to you. And use your weight, use your seat, use your reins. But when you're using your reins, you need to keep them up. And if we're getting the face in, the shoulder up, we've got to be up here. We've got to be up here. Okay, not down here. So, this is, again, if you just position 1 riding, I'm going forward, going up the transitions, going down the transitions. That's why we say whoa in Western, because it makes you exhale, whoa, okay? And then 1, 2, 3, shoulder, rib cage, hind, shoulder, rib cage, hind, toes up, cores engaged. We're riding a circle to the right. Oh, he's leaking in. Lift him up. Good. Push him over here a little bit. Good. Back on line. Good boy. So, what would happen if he leaked out? Exactly the same other way. So, we're going round to the left. He's leaking out of the circle. Okay, so we're doing a nice little circle and he's coming out of our circle. So, what we're going to do then is support him with the inside rein, block him with the outside rein, use this outside leg. So depending on what is leaking out, if you use too much inside rein, that shoulder's popping out, we need to use this leg on the shoulder 1 position. So pop, get that train, get your piece of trailer back in line. Okay, if it's the rib cage, probably most likely the rib cage, if it's coming out, because this will be bent in head and neck, and the hind will be tucked in, the shoulder is leaking out. Your third carriage here is leaking out because he's trying to get over there for whatever reason. So we need to block him with the position 2 leg here. Okay? So, there's the shoulder, there's the rib cage, hind. Now, with the hind, if you're gonna, again, if these movements aren't on your horse, I can manipulate the shoulder and the rib cage. The only reason we want to start messing with the hind is if we're going to pick up, we're suppling, we're doing suppling manoeuvres so we are able and putting the cues on the horse to move the hind. When we're breaking horses in, that's the first thing we want to break away. So I want to be able to flex my horse left and right. Second of all, I want to slide down, bring that nose in, and I want to be able to move my leg back and move that hind, because when that is disengaged, they can't run off. And this is a lot of things I teach in my clinics now and lessons, because it just doesn't seem to be on in many English riders don't get to learn this stuff. So instead of holding on, they're going to run off. I'm scared, I'm pulling, the horse is going nuts, because if you're restricting him from whatever he wants to do, that's run off or droop or whatever, you need to go hind. But they need to have this on them already. So we're going on to the hind. So, face first. Get them to understand this is what I do on the groundwork, flex the face. Right? Then I can have the leg. And this is where you're creating a thinking horse. Just because I'm sliding it down, I'm asking for that face, doesn't mean that I've asked for that. And this is where my groundwork, I want to do in the groundwork, they've got to be thinking and listening. So when you start adding this onto your horse, the hind movement, they'll start, your bending might go a bit gooey, because they think, oh, I know what you're going to ask me, I'm going to move behind. And this is where I like to test, especially the baby horses. I say, give me a face, and they start moving now. And I've got to hold the face, I don't put my leg on. They're moving around, whatever, I've got to wait till they stop. When they stop, then I'll release them as I'm good. Right, so then I test them again. Have I got your face? They say yes. I say, right, now move behind. You've got to wait till I ask you to do it. So that's how you do it if you were teaching them. So again, this way, I'm asking for the face flex, then I ask for the hind. And I'm going to push. I'm going to look at that rump. So it's the same. If I'm going to do, I've asked for the face, ask for the rump, and I'm looking at that rump where that leg's got to move under, just like in our groundwork, under. So I hope that's helpful. There's so many things. Like I say, I'm trying to explain it like you've got a train. Carriage one, head and neck, head, neck, shoulders. Then you've got a hinge, you've got the rib cage, you've got a hinge, then hind. And why I say that is because you've got three things that can move independently. And that's why you have to have these cues on to manage it. Oh, right, stuck. Oh, it will. But yeah, you have to have these cues available to you and know how to use them before you can expect the horse to understand what you're trying to communicate to him. So really, you need to work on yourself to help your horse.